So I was eating objectively the best flavor of Pop-Tarts, which is, of course, cherry. And you come to the, instructions, which I find it hysterical that Pop-Tarts have instructions. The first one being to remove it from the foil pouch that it comes in, as if somehow you don't know to do that. And then, but the instructions don't stop there. They have instructions for how to put your Pop-Tarts in a toaster, which if you're not putting Pop-Tarts in a toaster, you're doing it wrong. Hey everybody, Nick from 9card TCG, and today we are going to be looking at what I think is a very powerful deck, and that is Ice Rider Calyrex Vmax paired with Palkia. And oh boy, I'm looking forward to it. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, leave a like and a comment. Those things tell YouTube this is a good channel and other people should watch it. If you're in the market for some TCG accessories, I'm affiliated with Dragon Shield, so you can use the link in the video description to get yourself some awesome Dragon Shield matte sleeves. They're the only ones I use. You show up to regionals looking and feeling like a pro. Lastly, if you want to support the channel a little bit more directly, you can click the join button to see what all the different perks you get for becoming a channel member are, but none of that's ever expected. Just you being here watching is enough for me. Now, with all that said, let's hop over to ptcgo, where we can take a look at this Palkia and Ice Rider deck. Ice Rider Calyrex V is a decent card. It can hit for just a single attachment if you're going second. You know, Pierce is only going to do 40 damage, but you know what? It's nice to soften up a Pokemon, especially something that's going to evolve into a V-Star or a V-Max. Glacial Lance, we really don't want to use it, but it is there, I suppose. Our main attacker is going to be Ice Rider Calyrex Vmax, 320 health, and it is weak to Metal. And Metal isn't super common in the format, so we really don't have to worry about much hitting us for weakness there. I guess the most you have to worry about is like Registeel in the Regigigas deck, and maybe Trash Wormadam, like the Trash form Wormadam, which is a steel type. Those are the only two, so that's not too bad. But we have two attacks. Rider the High King does 10 damage plus 30 more for each Pokemon on your opponent's bench, and Max Lance for 2 water energies does 10 damage, and then discard up to 2 water energies from this Pokemon, and this attack does 120 more for each energy you discarded in this way. So you can have 2 water energies on there, discard them both, and hit for 10 plus 240, which is going to give you 250. With a Choice Belt on there, you're hitting 280, which is the magic number at the moment to knock out any Pokemon V-Star. We do have, of course, Palkia V, which isn't super good, but Palkia VStar is fantastic. A 2-prize 280 Pokemon. Remember, that 280 mark that Ice Rider Calyrex gets to is the magic number. Subspace Swell for 2 water energies as well does 60 damage plus 20 damage for each Pokemon in play, or I guess for each Pokemon on yours and your opponent's bench. So you could be hitting for 260, and again with the Choice Belt you're hitting 290, which is that 280 mark. So both Ice Rider and Palkia can hit the magic 280 number, and that's really important. Palkia does also have a V-Star Power Star portal. Once during your turn, you may attach up to 3 water energies from your discard to your Pokemon or to your water Pokemon in any way you like. This is super good because one of the issues with Ice Rider is that sometimes you get stuck in a Melony loop. You have to attach an energy from hand, play Melony, and then Max Lance, and you don't always get the KO. But now, with Palkia, you can power up your Ice Rider, and you can start to power up another Pokemon on the bench with Star Portal, and that leaves you available to use something like Leon, which lets you do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon during your turn. So now that 280 becomes 310. And then, oh wait, we have Radiant Hawlucha with the Big Match ability, which does 30 more damage to Pokemon VMAX, and now that 310 goes up to 340, and we're taking a one-shot on any single Pokemon in the game, which is really important. We do have the Inteleon line with Shady Dealings so that we can find cards that we need, and we do have a quick shooting to help fix a little bit of math if we need. We do run a lot of Pokemon Search, Evolution Incense, Level Ball, Quick Ball. We have a couple of copies of Ultra Ball, Scoop Up Net so we can reuse the Shady Dealings engine, and then also just kind of pivot Pokemon out of the active. We have a copy of Tool Scrapper to get rid of things like Big Charms, mostly. That's like the thing we want to get rid of the most. We can also get rid of something like an Air Balloon so we can kind of prevent our opponent from having a pivot, but our big target with this is a Big Charm to kind of make sure we can get those knockouts on things like Arceus VStars or Palkia's Dialgas, things like that. Speaking of, I guess, kind of stopping things like Arceus, we have Path to the Peak, and Path is really useful for a bunch of stuff. It's going to maybe stop your opponent from using their Star Portal on Palkia. It's going to stop your opponent from using something like Starbirth, Genesect, whatever the Fusion Strike system ability, and important to note, it turns off Radiant Pokemon's abilities. So Hawluchas, Greninjas, eventually the Kanto starters, when they come out, none of those will be able to use their abilities when Path to the Peak is in play because they are considered rule box Pokemon. The other stadium we have is Temple of Sinnoh, which turns all special energies into colorless energies, and they have no other effects. It doesn't really make a huge difference for Mew because Mew VMAX does hit for double colorless. However, it can stop them from using Genesect to take a KO. It can stop them from using Melodious Echo if they don't have, or at least on the Meloetta, if they don't have a basic Psychic Energy in play. So it can be useful in the Mew matchup. It's really to turn off things like Rapid Strike and Single Strike energies. It can turn off double Turbo energies on Arceus decks. It has its use, but in the Mew matchup specifically, it's going to stop Fusion Strike from preventing the use of abilities on Pokemon with Fusion Strike energies, which means Quick Shooting is back on the market or back in play when Temple of Sinnoh is in play, even if your opponent has a Fusion Strike energy. So you can kind of fix that math and make sure you're getting the KO on a Mew VMAX or something else. In terms of supporters, it's pretty standard. We have a couple of Boss's Orders, Melony's, which is our big energy accelerator outside of Star Portal. Taking a water energy from your discard, attach it to one of your Pokemon V, and then draw 3 cards. So not only is it an energy accelerator, but it also is a draw supporter. Professor's Research is a very strong draw supporter as well. Raihan's really cool for getting, after a Pokemon was knocked out, you get accelerated energy and search your deck for any card you want. So you can find that, that Tool Scrapper, you can find that Choice Belt, you can find whatever it is you need with Raihan. Roxanne is not as powerful as everyone initially thought, mostly because of Bibarel, and even to a degree, the Shady Dealings line, where you can only use this if your opponent has 3 or fewer prizes remaining, but if they do, each player shuffles their hand into their deck, you draw 6, your opponent draws 2. So you can kind of turn off or really limit the amount of options your opponent has, but if they have Bibarel in play, or they have, Shady Dealings engine, and they happen to find an out to use Shady Dealings, they can find a Research, they can find a Crobat, they can find whatever, and yeah, it's not as great, but it can be really useful for especially something like Mew, where you throw down Path, you Roxanne them, and you kind of really force them to, man, I hope you hit that stadium in those top 3 cards. We do have Air Balloon and Choice Belt, so we can move Pokemon around a little easier, and Choice Belt lets us hit a little bit harder. 7 basic water energy, so we don't have to worry about Temple of Sinnoh ever affecting us, because we only run basic water energies. That's the whole deck. Let's go and see how it does. Going into game number 1, and this deck might look pretty similar to some other Palkia Ice Rider decks that are out there. There's definitely a few ways you can build these. I happen to go with a 3/3, what is it, Ice Rider. Oh my goodness, this is not good. This is not good at all. Hopefully we can draw into, like, anything. We draw into a Crobat. We do not really want to see a Crobat here. I don't need to bench that just yet. I mean, if we draw into a water energy, it might not be terrible, but we can at least get a few cards out of hand and then draw with Crobat, assuming they don't play their own path. If they are playing Radiant Greninja, they likely won't path us, because that turns off Radiant Greninja. And it looks like we're probably going to be playing Darkrai, just based on the fact, right? Yeah, oh, Samurai, okay. Samurai, nice. I haven't played against a Samurai in a while, so Temple of Sinnoh, we don't really care. We don't have any type of special energy in there. They're going to play their own Crobat. It's fine with me, I guess. I mean, I can't stop them. I can't play Ash Blossom. I can't, I don't have hand traps. This isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! I can't counter spell in Magic. So, and they're going to come in and Marnie us, which I don't really mind. I don't really mind too much. I don't think. I mean, we'll see what these next 4 cards are. It could be the worst thing in the world.
God is mocking me.
Why are you doing this to me, ptcgo? Oh my goodness. What did I do to you? Oh man. 3 Sobbles. And this deck, you know, this Samurai deck, if it's running Dark Patches and all these Dark Energies, it might not run Metacham, but you can go V-Star Power, hit 4 damage onto a Sobble, and then Yoga Loop it for the last 2 damage counters, then you take a prize, and you get a full another turn. It's definitely something we have to be conscious of. I'm just going to throw this down so they can't do anything else. And all I could do was Pierce because we drew into literally almost all of our Sobbles. I mean, that was a wild, wild Marnie. Come on. They get the Beaverell, so they still get to draw. They might be able to hit a Stadium, so then they can start using the V-Star power, using another Crobat or Lumineon. They need to get a damage counter onto this Ice Rider if they want to hit me really hard with Merciless Blade. And, you know, with the path in play, they would have to find a Zigzagoon or some other way of doing it, so they're going to research. What are the odds they don't hit it? They have to hit it, right? I just don't see how they don't. And if they do, then we lose, because I have nothing for this next turn. We'll see what we top deck just to kind of... There's the Quick Ball, which means Zigzagoon's going to be coming into play. Yeah, there it is. So benching that other Ice Rider, or failing to bench that other Ice Rider, was problematic. It turns out, who would have guessed? But honestly, like I said, depending on what we top deck, there's a chance that it might not have mattered too much anyway. So if we top deck anything that's not like a Drizzile, I think we're kind of in a lot of trouble. And what do we get? We get a Melony, which we would have been able to use if we had another Ice Rider, but I still don't think we really would have had much of a chance here. So, you know, sometimes decks, they just brick. Let's try one more. Maybe we don't get the infamous ptcgo hand. We get a hand that we can actually play with, and we'll go heads. We lose the coin flip. That's okay. I actually don't mind losing the coin flip, because going keep calling to get a bunch of Sobbles into play is really not a bad thing. And it looks like that's going to be our option here. Hopefully we can draw into like an energy, and then we can quick ball it away to play Melony. That would be kind of nice. We're going to be playing Arceus something. Don't really know what just yet, but we definitely want to find a Stadium. Really want to be able to find like a Temple of Sinnoh. There's the Eevee, which means they're going to be evolving into a Jolteon. And that's something that we can really make use of, that Tool Scrapper, is to get rid of this memory capsule. Because there's a Jolteon that, when the Jolteon's in play and has a memory capsule attached, all water Pokemon have no abilities, which means we wouldn't be able to use our Shady Dealings or our Star Portal. I guess for now... Oh man, I guess. I kind of want to go Palkia. Because I don't want to give 3 prizes. We'll just draw 2. Draw 3, see what we get. Okay, we get an Air Balloon. Well, research. I need something. I need an energy of some kind. Ultra Ball is good. We're gonna get the Palkia VStar for next turn. And we're just going to pass. So they can't Starburst without bumping the path. I can't Star Portal without bumping the path, but at least I have a level. Oh, they have a Pumpkin Boost, so they're going to. And in doing so, Star Portal becomes available to me. But they don't have energy in play. Oh, they do. They do have one energy. So depending on what that one card is in their hand, they might be able to Starburst for a Double Turbo Choice Belt and then boss this up. But no, they would need Double Turbo Choice Belt, Boss, and Zigzagoon. They need 4 cards to be able to take this thing out this turn. So I don't think it's going to happen. I would be super surprised if it did, though I guess technically they could make it happen. And I'm really hoping they don't. So far, I'm not having particularly good luck with this. I also might just be playing it super wrong. There's the Double Turbo, and they get a Marnie. Okay. Okay. No Jolteon still, which is very good.
He needs some milk.
I spoke too soon. Oh, so now we... Oh, no. This is like worst case scenario. And now even if we put a Temple of Sinnoh, this really... I can't do anything. I can search for a stadium. I don't even have Temple of Sinnoh. It's prized. So I just lose. Because I can't use any of my abilities. So, yeah, this is a thing that can happen. Jolteon Memory Capsule is very real, and it's a real problem if you can't preemptively deal with it. If I can't boss up KO, if I can't early find a Tool Scrapper to get rid of that Memory Capsule, which, let's be honest, they probably have 2. But I think at this point we are just likely too far behind. I have an Ultra Ball, but I can't get another energy. And I can't use Lumineon to find a Melony because Memory Capsule Jolteon. So I don't think there's literally anything I can do. I think this is it. I think I'm just stuck. So yeah, good game to my opponent. Jolteon crushing. So there you have it, 2 very unfortunate games. The first one was just a hard brick, and the second one we got countered ultra hard. And that's one of the problems when you are a very good deck, something like Mew, something like Palkia, even Arceus. People are going to be coming after them. They are going to want to stop you. And that's exactly what they did. They stopped me dead in my tracks with 0 options. And it's just a little unfortunate. It's the way it goes sometimes. You just have to, it's why I don't play Palkia. I'm not bringing Palkia to NAIC. At least there's a 90% chance I don't. And it's for reasons like this. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to be, put in a position where I can't play the game because someone puts down a Jolteon Memory Capsule and now I have 0 outs to stuff. It's just not my thing. But yeah, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, found this a little informative. If you did, again, hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. It tells YouTube this is a good channel. Other people should watch it. And yeah, let me know what you think of Palkia Ice Ride. I didn't really get to showcase it, unfortunately, today, but that's the way the game goes. You don't always get to do what you want. And these are real challenges that this deck has to face. So I do hope you learn from it. I hope you take that and consider it when you're deciding what deck you want to play, or even just what's out there in general. But kind of rambling on a little bit too much at this point. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time.